on it.
But first, Blue Jays.
I'm tracking it just like this fly ball.
Toronto outfielder Jonathan Davis sprints to deep center, goes full extension for the nice catch here.
Nick, what makes this catch so hard right here?
The ceiling. The ball's the same color as the roof.
Same color, man. You can't even track it, man. You can barely see the seams on it.
They should have thought of that. Paint that ceiling green.
Padres, Yankees. San Diego's Adam Warren snagging the comebacker for the out.
Oh, man, it's all about the fundamentals. You got to fall off straight to the catcher, man, so the ball don't hit you. You see that? If he falls off straight, the ball's right there in his mitt. Easy play for him. That right there, you got lucky.
Also luck.
Come on, man, tighten up your fundamentals.
I don't care so much about these pitcher fundamentals post-pitch.
I used to teach Little League, man. That's how they teach you. I was coach pitch. You start off, then they teach the kids, man.
I need documentation of this.
Oh,
Chris Carter, were you wearing? So you wore the uniform? Like managers have to in baseball?
No. I have my Nike gear on. I couldn't out there be wearing
Who's he throwing this ball?
Here we go, Jets practice. Elijah McGuire comes out of nowhere to make the nice catch in traffic.
Oh, nice catch. I'm glad we're getting some video. Last couple days, we're seeing yesterday Baker Mayfield, my man Colin Cowherd's favorite quarterback. Oh, his real favorite quarterback, one of his young favorite quarterbacks, Sam Darnold, throwing a nice touchdown here.
Back to tonight's game. The two favorites to win Finals MVP, Steph and Kawhi. Steph trying to win the award for the first time, while Kawhi won the award back in 2014. Happens to be playing at an even higher level this postseason. Nick, who has more to gain with a Finals MVP performance, Curry or Kawhi?
Oh, this is such a tough question because they are...
I like how you switched that up a little bit. Whoever did that question, it's not... I mean, I like it. It's hard to make these questions sexy, but they did this one with who has more at stake.
I love you so much, Chris. Switch it up.
Love's a little strong. I just appreciate
the audience just so you know those things as well. Switch it up from about 5:15 this morning. That the meeting none of you saw, but it is a little different. So now everyone pull back the curtain, a little breaking the fourth wall. All right, they both have so much at stake. For Kawhi has nothing to lose here. Steph. If they win and he doesn't win Finals MVP, or if they lose the Finals and he doesn't play well, he goes backwards a bit. But as far as what to gain, for Steph, we talked about this a lot yesterday, but it is the final piece to the puzzle that makes him, by really any fair metric, one of the 20 greatest players of all time. It would be very hard to keep him out of that club. There's only 8 guys in league history that have multiple league MVPs and a Finals MVP. All 8 of those guys, 7 of them are in the top 10 all time. The other one's Moses Malone, who's 14th or 15th, depending on how you want to do it. Like, Steph would join those rankings, that tier. For Kawhi, it's a different conversation, but it's a conversation of all-time greatest playoff performers, because Kawhi year after year after year, even when he was a young developing player, has shown when does he play his best basketball? In the playoffs. The last 3 years he's been in the playoffs. So is 2016 in San Antonio, 2017 in San Antonio, and 2019 now with Toronto. Those 3 years, he's averaging 28, 8, and 4 on 50, 40, 90. 50, 40, 90 in the playoffs. A 29.5 player efficiency rating, which, take my word on it, that's Jordan and LeBron and Wilt and your list. So Kawhi, he doesn't have the full basketball resume and bona fides of, oh, he's one of the greatest players of all time, because he never won a league MVP, because this would be the first championship he's won as the best player, all those things. But he'd have 2 Finals MVPs and multiple spectacular playoff runs. And one other thing with Kawhi, it does add a very interesting what if in NBA history, which is, wait, what if Zaza didn't hurt him? Would we have seen this version of Kawhi against these Warriors 2 years ago, and we were deprived of that in that moment?
If Nick thinks Steph would take a step back if the Warriors won and he did not win the Finals MVP, could you say the same about Kawhi? If the Raptors win and he doesn't win the MVP, does he take a step back with how the league views Kawhi Leonard?
I'm sure people that are a lot smarter than myself, they have all these simulators and all these tests, and they do all these comparisons. And I don't know how one of those calculations comes out, Toronto winning, and Kawhi Leonard is not the MVP.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't see Kyle Lowry scoring 25 a game. I don't see Danny Green getting 15 to 18 a game. Siakam would have to be average 25 a game. And Kawhi would have to be a role player. So I do believe Toronto, if they do win, Kawhi will be the MVP. And I could make a case that right now, if you look at what he's got to gain, I know Steph, he's got the MVP of the regular season. He's trying to get in a very, very exclusive class. But that's the history of the NBA. But right now in the NBA, does Kawhi Leonard, if he's not the MVP, does he not become the best basketball player in the world?
Correct.
And what if Kawhi decides to, I'm a team with KD next year? What a dynamic that would be. Those two, wouldn't they be the favorite to win it if they went to New York?
Correct.
So I believe that, man, what's going on and where Kawhi is, he's had so many big moments. And he is behind Steph as far as the accolades and everything, but he's played less. But he has something Steph doesn't have, and that's he's already been an MVP. If he goes back and is another MVP at this age, oh, my goodness. I just believe that both have a tremendous. I think Kawhi's is far more intriguing, and the storyline is better because he defeated a team that was trying to three-peat.
2 quick points. There is, right now you could bet, though, the Raptors to win the series at plus 225, and you can bet Kawhi to win Finals MVP at plus 260. To Chris's point, if you're going to bet on the Raptors, just bet Kawhi to win MVP. There is no scenario the Raptors can beat the Warriors without Kawhi being spectacular. So you're just getting more value there. So I don't think that is... I can't imagine that happening. If it did, it would mean Kawhi played really well, but someone on his team just went unconscious.
Right.
And no one would hold it against him. Just like I don't really think in the moment, people didn't hold 2015 against Steph. 2015, that Iggy won MVP, only got held against him when, in 2016, he got picked on and they lost. And then in 2017, Durant was better. And then in 2018, Steph blew the MVP in Game 3 with his, I think, 3 for 19. Then all of a sudden, it starts being a trend. But the other point you made is undeniable. If the Raptors win the championship, there is no asterisk, there is no interim, there is no question about it. Kawhi Leonard gets to be called the best player in basketball. That is, he will have gone through. Ooh. Joel Embiid, who's what, the 8th best? Mm-hmm. Giannis, who's what, the 4th best? He's going to win league MVP. Steph, 2nd, 3rd, wherever you want to slot him. KD, if he comes back. Kawhi gets to be called the best player in basketball, and there's not the asterisk of, well, LeBron was hurt. No, Kawhi just takes it. And now we'll see if he could hold it, but that is an opportunity that he and he alone has. If Giannis had beaten him, he would have that same opportunity. That if he would have gone on to finish the whole thing off, Joel Embiid could have had that same opportunity out of nowhere. Kawhi has that right now, which makes this really intriguing for the moment. For the history of the league, Steph has a ton at stake.
All right, Game 1 tonight, Raptors and Warriors. We will see how it all plays out. You mentioned LeBron coming up. Is LeBron